this episode, Chrissy Duffy's voice has an echo, and it's probably because I wasn't wearing my headphones for recording. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. While I'm doing this cold open, I want to promote my friend Candy, which has a Ko-fi goal. She doesn't have a job anymore, and she wants a new laptop. To support her in that goal, you can go to ko-fi.com/candywedge. That's ko-fi.com/candywedge. Now on to the show. Hi, I'm Stapler. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and this is the Rainbow Rant, where we talk about TV shows.
Yes. Hi, I'm Chrissy Duffy. My pronouns are she, her.
And this is the Rainbow Rant.
Yep, where we talk about cartoons.
Yeah.
I closed the page I didn't need to close.
I'm not all here today, I don't think.
I don't think any of us are.
Yeah.
It's fine, we continue forward.
You can half hear me as I am half here. We're talking about Caspers Scare School today, a show from my childhood, and I knew that when I came back to it, it would be interesting at least, because I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be high quality, because I even remember when I watched it as a kid, even though I loved it, I saw flaws in it, and I feel like the age that I watched it and I saw flaws in it, I didn't usually see flaws in cartoons.
Yeah.
I guess
You want to
sometimes
know
I
a
find,
fun
like,
fact about this show that I realized just now?
What?
This show, this first season aired during my freshman year of high school, and the last season aired during my senior year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And actually, while watching the episode, I realized I had seen a clip of this show before because I recognized the little principal guy, the two-headed squid guy. I recognized him. I had seen him before.
That is one of the things that I really remembered from this show. One of the things that I noticed as a flaw was in the movie, that guy, their parents are also Siamese twins, which, okay, I mean, I'm using this term Siamese twins. I don't even know if I'm remembering that term correctly. But also, these are
Siamese twins. Is that the term that means they're connected? No, it's conjoined twins that means that they're connected.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what Siamese twins. I just, every time I hear Siamese twins, I think of the cats from the Aristocrats going, "We are Siamese,
I just
if you
looked it
please."
up.
I think of that song.
I just looked it up. I might have said a slur. Well, actually, might not be a slur. I don't know, but it says that they prefer to be called conjoined twins.
Yeah, I think what it is because Siamese refers to an Asian culture or a group of Asian people, but it's also a type of cat. There's the Siamese cat, which is an Asian cat. I don't know how that wound up being put towards conjoined twins in any way.
I don't know
clue.
How they got a word and they used it to describe a race of people, but then they also used it for a type of cat, and then they used it for a type of twin. Like, what?
Well, the cat, I get it why it was used for the type of cat. Because it was used for the cat because the cat was bred and its whole entire thing was formed in that area and culture, and then people started, adopting them outside. It's like you get the Maine Coon. The Maine Coon was bred in Maine. So I get that. Because if you have like a breed of cat, you often, it is named a lot of times, even with dogs, they're named for the region that they're bred in. So like you have like the Norwegian long hair cat. It's like the Norwegian forest cat, I believe is the name of the breed. You have the Maine Coon cat, the Siamese cat, and then there's another cat that's named after its region I can't think of. But it's why like we have things like English Bulldog, German Shepherd, those kind of things. They're named for the region they were from. But on to Casper. Casper was first introduced to the world in November 16th, 1945, in something called The Friendly Ghost, which was a cartoon that was a part of something called Novel Tune series, which was a series of animated short films. He was created by Seymour Ritt, Joe Oriolo, and a Vincent E. Valentine II. History fact. Yeah. I wasn't aware he was in an animated thing first. I thought he was in the comics first.
Yeah,
but the comics came out in 49.
Yeah, I would have assumed comics too. He has that style.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But
positive.
he was in 42 or 45. I can't remember the year I just read out.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the cartoons and like things around that time, they all had like this comic-based kind of like animation style, because the simpler a design is, the easier it is to animate.
And also, like, I guess it's just the time period. There's a part of me that wants this to be Archie. Like, I'm like, this is Archie, right? No, it's like
it's Harvey Comics.
Harvey, yeah. I've not heard of
which
Harvey
I'm curious as to what all Harvey Comics have done. In 1980s and the Clan of Sound. Harvey characters. Let's do that.
Oh, I've heard of Harvey Girls.
Yeah, I don't recall any of these based off the photos.
Little Dot definitely looks like an Archie character.
Right, but that's also the style of the time. This is stuff from Casper. Richie Rich! They have Richie Rich!
Yes, those are the two things I know from them.
Yeah. A character called Baby Huey, which just looks like a giant goose wearing a baby bonnet and a diaper. Any type of what looks like a Tom and Jerry spoof. Oh, they had superheroes.
Captain Freedom.
Right, Captain Freedom. Oh, wow. Hello, Captain America knockoff. They also have this black cat girl who, like, the image when you hover over it is girl in one-piece swimsuit, mask, gloves, and boots, riding a motorcycle. How nice. Flyman.
Fighting America.
Right. B-Man. Oh, I see you Fighting America. Oh, wow. I actually like that outfit design, though. The outfit I like. All right, let's move onward before we get more distracted. Just close out this tab. So, Vincent, who has, like, a great name, did not have a Wikipedia page, but Joseph did. He passed away sadly on Christmas in 85. Hopefully he is doing well up in whatever afterlife he's enjoying. But he's also the creator of the Felix the Cat TV series, which is a very popular thing. And he provided the voice of the Italian barber in Gulliver's Travels, which is a 1939 American animated musical, which now I want to go watch. And then Seymour was an American author of over 80 children's books. He was an animator at Fletcher Studios. That's where he started his career. And he worked on Mad magazines, which is very popular. And he probably worked on other things, but those are the main things that were listed in his stuff. He was born in 1918, and he passed away in 2001 in November. So he was 83, and Joe lived to 72. So these two guys lived through both World Wars. They lived through a lot.
So my understanding... I've not watched, like, all the Casper stuff. I feel like, in Casper things before this, it was just, like, Casper, like, just doing things, I guess. I don't know. Like, he had his own... I don't know if there was that much to his life. Just, like, he went around and shenanigans. I feel like...
Yeah, it was kind of like he would go around, he would interact. So I only saw Casper... I didn't see Casper animated very often. The Casper I am used to is like 2 or 3 live action movies. I feel like there's a live action movie and it has a little blonde girl with a red hood. And then there's another one I feel like, though it could still be the same, that I saw that it doesn't explicitly state how he dies. But Casper is in his own home, and he's not aware that he's dead. So he's not aware he's dead. He's in his home playing with, like, a train set his dad made for him or something. And I don't know. I think he befriends a kid that moves into his home, and that kid has to, like, explain that he is, dead. that he is a ghost now. And then the trio moves in, Stretch, the other two, whose names I don't remember, and they're trying to teach Casper how to, like, be scary and mean, and it's just not working. Yeah. I don't remember, like, all the basics of it, but, like, it's pretty much Casper befriends Kid and goes on, like, silly little child adventures.
Yeah. So, like, that thing of he befriends a kid, that works for a movie.
Yeah.
But then, like,
especially back in the 90s.
But, like, you make a show about it. I mean, it started out as a show about shenanigans.
Yeah.
And so that movie premise, it's like, okay, that works as a movie.
Yeah, it started out as, like, a short film from the 1940s, so that would have been about the length of an episode.
Yeah, but then, you know, but then, like, there are probably other shows after this, and there are probably, like, all just shenanigans. No real through line for all of them. He can go.
The little girl was a witch. That's what it was. It was Hilary Duff. So he befriended a witch in one film. It was called Casper Meets Wendy. I had it on VHS. It came out in 98. And it had Hilary Duff. Because I'm just like, I didn't want to say the wrong actress.
Yeah. So, like, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of the other TV shows before this were probably no through line for all of them, just him doing things. And in the one we're watching, he goes to a scare school, so I feel like there's a little more structure. There's, like, recurring characters. I don't think that any of the other ones had recurring characters, but I could be wrong. I did see one of the movies. I don't know which one. I think it was fully animated, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the animated movies. I just know, like, I saw...
To be fair, the one you watched was probably partially animated mixed with live action.
Yeah, like Casper and the Ghosts were definitely animated, but it was almost all live action.
And now I feel like that was... I don't know why I felt the need to say that, as if you didn't know. I mean, that's literally, like, the format of the Sonic movie, and we all call it live action. Sometimes I just say things, and I'm like, why did I say that? But, yeah. So there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 Casper movies.
Woo, so many.
Also, learning that Casper's Scare School started out as a movie explains things, because I remember thinking, like, I never hear people talk about this show, but it must have been really popular if it had a movie. But it started out as one, so...
Yeah, it started out as a movie that came out in 2006, according to this. It was a made-for-television film. So that was probably... Since it says made-for-television film, it was probably left open to possibly get a spin-off, but also just be, like, a one-and-done kind of, like, little thing.
Makes sense. Now I have to wonder, did you look to see, like, if the voice actors are shared between the movie and the show at all?
From my understanding is the voice actors change between each one.
Okay.
So the voice actors from the movie, the voice actors from season 1 and season 2, they're all different.
Wow.
Yeah, because Dan wasn't there for the show.
It's like an English dub.
Yeah, in English.
Except it was already in English.
Yeah. John DiMaggio was apparently in the film. He does so much stuff.
Okay, I just clicked on the person who did Casper, and I just I see he's a lot of live actions.
Yeah. The, Robbie Sublet?
Yes. Robbie Sublet is apparently most known for I'm Alive Next Week, 3 episodes. He played Scott, and it's from 2021.
Wow.
Then Hachi, A Dog's Tale, 2009, Michael. Mystery Team, 2009, Ricky Appleman. The Good Wife, 2012 to 2013, John Gutler. Never heard of any of these.
Right.
But apparently he's most known for them. But I've not heard of a Madagascar TV series, but I've at least heard of Madagascar. And he's in Madagascar, A Little World from 2022. He's Bill.
There is a Madagascar TV series.
Yeah.
It's called The Penguins of Madagascar. There might be another one that I don't recall.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even think about that as a Madagascar TV series because it's about the penguins.
Yeah.
But this is Madagascar's a Little World from 2022. And now that I think about it, actually, I think I have seen like other Madagascar stuff. I just never thought of them as Madagascar, despite them being in the title.
Yeah.
Okay, this is about a bunch of different animals from Madagascar, and they're like tiny though. So maybe they're like them as kids, or they're like the babies of main characters. I don't know. Don't care.
Right.
Looks like it's a Hulu thing, like a Hulu exclusive show. Anyways, I have heard of Red Dead Redemption. He's
Oh, my husband loves that game.
Specifically Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh.
Oh my god, he's in he's Humpty Dumpty in Team Umizoomi for one episode.
Nice. I don't see Raw or Thrash's
He's in
voice
Speed
actor.
Racer The Next Generation.
Oh, nice.
And nothing else that's notable.
Yeah. So I pulled up, what is her name? Vanessa Bellardini, who plays Mantha.
I need to look up who Mantha is.
Right, I wish it gave me the photo. Let me open up behind the voice actors. Mantha is that girl with the green skin and the purple hair.
Okay. I was thinking of this bug child, and I was like, why is that so high up? The bug kid is barely in there, but if Mantha is this girl, then okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I pulled her up, and she's in a Bomberman video game from 2002.
She's
Mermaid Bomber. Because I remember you were talking to me a lot about Bomberman. I'm just like, oh, you'll like that. And apparently, King of Fighters video game from 2006, and a King of Fighters Maximum Impact is all that's listed. Let's see if there's anything listed on behind the voice actor.
Teeny tiny Bomberman tangent. That Bomberman game, Bomberman Jetters, is based on the Bomberman show called Bomberman Jetters.
Oh my god, I see the design for Mermaid Bomberman, and I'm liking what picture I'm seeing. But yeah, that's it. The other thing, it says she did additional voices for Winx Club in 2004. But Thrash is not listed on the IMDb.
I wonder,
and neither is Raw.
If the Bomberman Jetters show got dubbed in English, I wonder if she would be able to reprise her role. Probably not, because I feel like she doesn't seem like a big voice actor.
Right.
And also, English voice acting, they don't really care that much.
Right.
So yeah, back to Casper.
Yeah, Raw was voiced by a Sharon Man, it's double N's. She is in the Mario and Rabbids video game Sparks of Hope, which came out in 2022. She plays a rabbit called Midnight. She's in a lot of video games. Detroit Become Human, she plays Rose. She's in a Peanuts by Schultz 2016 animated show. She plays Floyd in Schrodier.
Sorry, who are we talking about again?
Sharon Mann. She plays Raw, that boy that's the mummy. That seems to be Casper's number 2.
Alright.
Yeah.
How did you find out that? Because
behind the voice actors.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not listed on IMDb, but it's on the Wikipedia and behind the voice actors. Okay, so she does multiple voices in Scare School. She does Hetty Hopper, Monaco, the school nurse, Triclops, and Norman. A show called Inc. Invisible Network of Kids. I just find that interesting. A video game called Dracula 3, The Path of the Dragon. She's in a lot of video games, which I don't recognize the names of. I'm hoping if I skim down far enough, I'll recognize something. Dragon Ball GT, A Hero's Legacy, 2004 TV show. Pan, Mamba, Bully, Bucky, Nurse 1, and Nurse 2. So she's in a lot of Dragon Ball stuff. So we have Dragon Ball Z BoJack Unbound, 2004 movie. Krillin, Bujin, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Lotta Cash, Monty Cash, and a character called Kim. So she voiced Chi-Chi and Bulma for at least one film. But no other Dragon Ball stuff has come up. And she's a lot of characters in Code Lyoko. Jeremy Belpois, Alita Schaefer, Akiko Ishiyama, Talia, Anifa Schaefer, Claire, Heidi Klinger, Patrick Belpoise, English teacher, and radio voices. And there's a couple more different Dragon Ball Z stuff. They just seems to be Dragon Ball Z films. A TV series from 2003 called Funky Cop. She's a lot of voices in that. And she's in a lot of things, and I'm tired of scrolling down. Freddy Fish. She's in Freddy Fish 4. That is important to me, that everyone knows that she is in Freddy Fish. I used to play that series way too often.
Did we talk about Shelly yet?
Shelly. No, I don't think we touched Shelly. Which person does Shelly voice?
She plays a bunch of characters. Bethica, Mickey, Pumpkinhead, Dummy Girl, Flyboy, Maggot, Harpy, Monko, the Cafeteria Thing, the Nurse, Triclops, Flyboy.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I don't think we've
and I clicked
touched on her.
And this two results are very concerning. Trump therapy and woke Godzilla.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
She became a Trump supporter. All right.
Yeah, quite unfortunate.
Gonna keep my thoughts to myself. All right. We haven't touched Thatch yet. Thatch is the bratty vampire. Season 1, he's voiced by Carter Jackson. He doesn't have a page on Behind the Voice Actor, but he does have a Wikipedia page. He was in some Broadway stuff. It says he voiced Connor on the 3rd television adaptation of Speed Racer, titled Speed Racer: The Next Generation, on Nicktoons Network. And he was Thatch in the television series, but not in the movie it's based off of. So it seems like Carter, who is the first voice actor for Thatch, mostly does Broadway stuff, but there's not much listed of what he's been up to since 2003. So, like, he was in a play called Leaving Tangiers, and it won an award or something. So that's sad.
Just realized we've talked. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about the voice actors. Well, do we have any others, or are we done?
We've got like the main 4 at least. I feel like, because I feel like we don't really need to go over Adler and what's his name, because like you only see him very briefly in the episode we watch.
Go to the wiki for this episode specifically. We're talking about 2 episodes.
So the way the series is, it's 2 11-minute segments.
Yeah, and also I'm looking at the wiki thing, and the Caspers Scare Skull fandom wiki says this should be paired with Opposite Day, but it's paired with
Boo.
Scare Scouts.
Yeah. On the Wikipedia page, it says Scare Scouts and Boo.
Yeah.
But it was probably a production order thing.
Yeah. So
it's still interesting.
We should probably go over Scare Scouts first, since that's the first part. So Scare Scouts was written by Ross Hasling, storyboarded by Gary Hurst, and directed by Eric Bastier. So when I saw Gary Hurst, I thought Ben Hurst for a moment. Very different.
Yeah.
This is a storyboarder too, so like that's a very different job from a writer.
Yeah. So the storyboarder is they take what's written, so whatever Ross wrote, the storyboarder will take that and put it to a visual thing. So the beauty of storyboards, you can do them digitally. My favorite part of making a storyboard is having them on like their little index cards or little sticky notes and lining them all up in the way you want them to be in like their correct order. So you can see all of it, how every like shot you have looks like, and like you can have people come and like, oh, we don't like this panel that you drew, we're gonna draw over it or just put another sticky note of what we think would look better for it. And a lot of like in bonus features, it's really fun watching like them go through and like acting it out and like doing all the voices and stuff as they go through the storyboard. It's pretty much just rough comic book form before any animation is done. So you know kind of like what your rough layout is, how is your pacing going, all that.
Yeah, except unless you're Steven Universe, in which case it's the same, except you're making the story and drawing it at the same time.
Yeah. I did see some of the Steven Universe like rough animation in some of the storyboards. So yeah. It looks like Gary did the storyboards for both these episodes. Ross also wrote both.
So I'm
And then they
looking
were
at
directed by the
Ross's-
same person.
Okay, I'm looking at Ross's IMDb. So
Awesome.
he's a writer for a bunch of stuff for really little kids, which explains things. He's apparently most known for Little Charlie Bear. Never heard of it, but I have heard of Thomas and Friends, PJ Masks, and Bob the Builder. He worked on all of those.
Yeah.
Let me just list all of the things. Fireman Sam, Mush and Mush Babies, Whisser, Bob the Builder, Shopkins, Bob the Builder, Big Dino Dig, Chuggington Badge Quest, Wow Wow Wubsy, Hit Favorites,
Right.
Here Comes Spring, Angelina Ballerina, What's Your News? Apparently Wow Wow Wubsy had a movie called Wubsy's Big Movie. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop listing these. I thought that this was a shorter list than it was. It wasn't.
Yeah. Two things I saw of note that I liked: Pingu and Camp Laszlo. I remember enjoying Camp Laszlo as a child. But it makes sense. Casper Scare School was probably made for the younger audience, for like the elementary kid audience,
Yeah.
if not younger. Like, I feel like it was made for the elementary kid audience watching it. So like up to like 5th grade. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's like how old I was when I was watching it.
Yeah. Which is probably why I never got into it, because like I just out of the age bracket at the time, though I was watching Team Umizoomi and Bubble Guppies at that time.
Yeah, I loved Wow Wow Wubsy as a kid. I think I got like an LCD game of it or something, and I loved it.
Yeah, I never saw Wow Wow Wubsy.
I barely remember it. It's like one of those things I saw so young, I mostly just remember the fact that I liked it. Kind of like how you remember that you like Dora the Explorer, though I don't know if you grew up with that, but that's an example.
Yeah, I did. Dora the Explorer was like, came out when I was a little bit older. My thing was Blue's Clues. Like, I was watching Blue's Clues and Bear in the Big Blue House a lot longer than a lot of kids my age were.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and then
yeah.
Gary Hurst.
I couldn't find like the Air Pacific IMDb at the moment.
Oh, well, I found it.
Yeah, you did.
He was director on Testament, the Bible in Animation, Wander Over Yonder, Challenge of the GoBot. Well, he was actually animation department on Challenge of the GoBots for 60 episodes, and director of Le Anu Magique. Those are like the 4 things that it says he's known for.
I'm not finding Gary underneath the credits for the series, though, for Casper, under the full cast and crew. So are you sure that's the right Gary Hurst?
Okay. I don't know if this is the right Gary Hurst. I just assumed.
Yeah. That's why, because when I typed in Gary Hurst, there was like 2 different Gary Hurst that popped up. So I was trying to find Gary underneath the cast and crew for Scare School on IMDb, and I don't think they have him because he's just a storyboard artist. So I'm going to see if they've got Eric, who is our director, because I don't think he has an IMDb, which is a shame. They do have Eric, though.
Okay, maybe I should...
So Eric is a director. He is known for directing a TV series in 2003 called Addie in Space. And apparently there are sequels to this, because there's a 2006 one called Addie Into the Wild and a 2004 called Addie Under the Sea. It looks like a weird, very early 3D video game based off the poster. His most recent thing is 2015. It's a TV series called Angry Bird Toons. He was a director in that.
That as a kid.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and those seem to be his main thing. He was a director and writer of a thing called Ole du Cyclone. I probably butchered that pronunciation. I am not sorry. But that is Eric.
Okay, so I think we're ready to talk about the episode itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is season 1, episode 7, Scare Scouts / Boo, which we couldn't find the Canadian air date because this show premiered on January 11th in Canada.
Right.
And in America it was October 4th. And when you look at episode 1, it says October 5th, which is even more confusing. But that's definitely not the Canadian air date. If in Canada it started on January 11th. Anyways, episode 7, the Wikipedia says it aired on October 14th. Who knows how accurate that is, if that even is how it aired in America, but that's what it says. So
Right.
So this show itself is kind of a Halloween type show. It's like very, very spooky. And then the second half of this episode is a Halloween special. But we have to start with the first part of the episode.
Which is these
we started this episode like it was just a regular episode of the Rainbow Rant. I was meaning to be like a little different because this isn't a regular episode. This is
the
a special
spooky episode.
Halloween, spooky episode that we're going to release separately from the rest of the series because we've recorded like months ahead and we want this to be published like close to Halloween time.
Hilarious, because we were in the beginning of October now.
Yeah. Okay, so what was I even saying? Okay, yeah, so like this is Rainbow Rant Halloween 1. Because we're probably going to do more Halloween stuff. Maybe not more this year because we're being...
You gotta have time to, like, edit and do all that as well.
At least
but next year.
Yeah. Scare Scouts. Okay, usually we scan on the episode watching it, but I'm just gonna go...
It's really simple, though.
Yeah, except it's so simple, but also I don't remember anything.
Okay, so Scare Scouts, I remember it because the premise was really simple. Scare Scouts is Casper joins the Scare Troop, like they're called the Scare Scouts, which is like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout. It's kind of like a Kid Scout group, kind of like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts.
And now, it started with him because in previous episodes it was established he had this human friend. I think he met this human friend in like episode 1 or 2, something like that. And
Casper always has like a human friend because Casper's very connected to his humanity.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But his human friend that I don't even remember the name of because he's not that important.
He's not important for this episode.
That human has like these... I don't even remember exactly, but he sees this human friend is like part of a Boy Scouts real troop thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he talks about it to his monster friends at school, and is like, they're so awesome. And then this Frankenstein teacher goes in and he's like, you said something about scouts? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, yes, you have the spirit something. You should join the Scare Scouts. And Scare Scouts are basically the evil version of real life scouts because they're trying to scare people, because this show is all about
monsters scaring people because like they're monsters. It's kind of like their job to scare people,
and they're learning how to do that at school, even though most of them already know how to do it. I guess they're just trying to get better at it. But Casper's really struggling because he's a nice person, but he, like, in the first scene of this episode, he does scare people without trying, but then when he tries, he can't do it.
Right, because Casper doesn't ever really want to scare anyone. It's always like an accident when he does it, and he always feels really bad. But like Casper, like he knows what like regular like Boy Scouts do, and so like he's trying to like help people, help a little old lady across the street. They're just like, no, you gotta scare people. And so Casper spends most of the time like thwarting his troop members' ability to scare and pull pranks on humans. And he gets caught doing it by the vampire boy. He's really bratty. And then they're just like, you don't get to go to the jamboree. Because Casper was going to quit, but then he heard about this party, this jamboree, and he was like, I really want to go to the party with my friends. And I'm like, dude, you are so willing to throw away your morals for a party.
Yeah.
Which I find hilarious, but I understand. It's like that fear of missing out and the peer pressure. And like Casper is really, when you think about Casper, I feel like he's only like 11 years old, max, because he hasn't quite reached that preteen age of me yet. And that a lot of preteens reach by the time like they turn 12 and 13. And so very happy, people pleasing. Like his friends are like, you don't have to be in this scout troop if you don't want to, but we're okay with scaring people and we want to be here. And so like he stays, and like he starts thwarting people so they can't scare people, and then he gets caught, and then he has to scare his humans friends boy troop, but then Thrasher's like, no, he needs to make them all cry. So instead of like scaring them, it becomes he has to make them cry. And he talks to his human friends, but we don't cry. It's in our handbook, which I think is very toxic to be like, no, you're not allowed to cry, but whatever. I get it. It's 2009. Boys aren't allowed to be in tune with their emotions yet. Whatever.
Yeah, somehow that.
And then he winds up putting hot sauce and chili.
Somehow that.
And making them all cry.
Somehow that line just passed me by. I didn't even think about the implications. I was just like, oh, it's against the rules for these people to cry. Okay. But yeah, no, that is messed up. But like, yeah, 2009.
Yeah. It's just a thing like I think about currently a lot. I think it's just because like I'm a woman, I'm in my 30s, and I think it's kind of like suckish. And I've had like these kind of like conversations with my husband as well about these kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then the Franken teacher is like, wow, you did it. You made them cry by putting hot sauce in their chili. Good job, Casper. You accomplished goal. Bat Boy, give him your badge because I forgot to order more badges.
Yeah.
And he tries to take it back later, and Bat Boy winds up becoming the waiter at like the jamboree party.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the show to be intentionally funny at places, because like I remember thinking it was funny as a kid, but I was like thinking, oh, well, I was a kid. But there are some like random bits in here and there that are actually funny, and they're supposed to be.
Like the end of the episode when the dragon like lights the fire at the jamboree, the Franken teacher's like, oh my god, fire, put it out, and as he begins running away. I found that really funny.
Yeah, and I found it funny too, and I feel like in the wrong in like other contexts that would be cheap, but I feel like it really works because this is a guy who's like supposed to be fearless, and he's trying to put on being fear, and he's like trying to scare other people, and so it works because then he's scared of a little fire.
Right, yeah. And then we have the second episode that's in the 20-30 minute block, which is Boo, which is they're supposed to go to the town to scare the humans, which they call the fleshies, for like 2 hours and then come back to like the flying pirate ship. But they wind up going on Halloween, of all things, so they're not able to scare people. The two principals, I guess they are, who are the characters I recognize, the conjoined twins, they're just like, oh my god, the fleshies are uprising. I find it hilarious that they're calling the humans the fleshies, when I'm just like, what do you think you guys are made out of? Y'all are a flesh of some sort. The only person who has no flesh is Casper.
I guess... Yeah, somehow when I was a kid, I was like... I mean, I think I was confused by that, but I just accepted it. But yeah, no, they're taking the terminology from the Caspers series, where all the main characters are ghosts, and applying it to this monster school where most of the people are made of flesh, except the ghosts and the skeleton people.
Right? And I find it hilarious. Thatch, the vampire boy, he's not having any fun right now because, like, everyone's like, cool costume, dude, and he's not quite getting it. And Casper's like, it's Halloween. We're not going to be able to scare anyone because it's Halloween. They just think we're kids in costumes, too. And then Thatch winds up following a group of kids to a Halloween party, ignoring the fact that the bell on the boat rang and they were supposed to get on the boat to go home. And he complains about, like, them not having blood because, like, I still think it's, like, weird. The mom who, like, welcomes in is like, "Oh, what a cute vampire. Would you like a cup of blood?" It's like, "Yes, AB, please," or, like, A positive if you have it. It's like, "Well, I'm all out of blood. How about some cider?" And I'm just like, why offer blood? You could have just handed him, like, a red fruit punch. That's the thing, like, I don't quite get for, like, writing purposes. I feel like they had, like, the cider joke written, and they didn't so the blood joke was weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I was...
So I don't know why she offered blood if, like, she wasn't gonna even placate him with, like, fruit punch. And have him be confused, but also timing wouldn't have worked.
I was expecting, because when she said it, he said AB, and she said, I'm afraid we're all out. And I was expecting her to be like, I'm afraid we're all out of that one, but I can give you regular B, and then she would give him the fruit punch.
Right? That would have been hilarious. And then later, as he's watching from, like, the sidelines, drinking it, he's just like, this isn't blood. What is this?
Yes, that would be so funny, but they didn't do it.
Right? But also knowing his character, he would have thrown a conniption fit anyway, because, like, he's rude. Like, he winds up biting a kid, but his teeth wind up getting hurt on the kid's gloves. I don't understand what that was. I saw it as, like, gonna have a reference to...
metal?
Right? I honestly thought it was going to be, like, a cool mechanic of the world where, like, they, like, even out and they can't harm people on Halloween, you know? Like, you're supposed to dress up to confuse the monsters. Yeah, because I remember, like, there was something I watched that had a similar concept.
They actually did that.
Yeah, like, your, like, vampiric stuff doesn't work on Halloween, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would have been, like, a cool concept, because, like, I've seen it done in, like, a couple of other things. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. But, like, he winds up being put in a timeout corner, and then in the timeout corner, he eats so much candy that he winds up not being able to turn into his bat form and stuff. And Casper being the saint he is, that he should not be, is just like, I'm worried about Vampire Dude. I need to go get him. And even his friends are like, no, you should leave him. He's a total jerk. He would not be willing to go help you. And he's just like, well, I'm not him. I'm me. I'm going to go help him. And I'm just like, Casper, you're too sweet. And Casper, like, goes in, tries to help him, and Thatch is being a jerk the whole time.
And then his mummy friend just confuses him by saying, yeah, well, he's not you. And he's like, what?
Right.
Well, anyways.
Right, just continuing forward. But Casper goes to, like, try to help him. Like, he's wearing a bedsheet to, like, look like a kid in a costume as a ghost. And they're running from the children. And the vampire boy just, like, rips off the sheets. Just like, look, a real ghost. And, like, puts his hand through Casper a couple of times. And I'm a real vampire. So what do y'all think about that? And then they wind up getting bopped in the head with, like, a broom or something. It's just like, I'll defeat the monsters by the mom or something. And the kids are cheering the mom on. And then the boat comes back for them and drops a ladder so the vampire boy can get up, and Casper just flies after, like, the vampire ladder up to the boat. Because if I recall correctly, the principals didn't want to go back for him, but they were talked into it. It's just like, fine, we'll go get Casper and Vampire Dude. And then, like, they get back to the boat, and then Vampire Dude spins the tail so that he's the really cool and awesome one, and he had to save Casper, because Dude doesn't want to admit he's weak because toxic masculinity. And then the principals are just like, that's great, you showed those fleshy Sue spots. Here, have some of their, like, little fleshy candy we found. And he looks at the Halloween candy because he's been eating so much of it, and he turns and vomits off the side of the boat. And that's all. I'm pretty sure that's how the episode ends.
Okay, so, about the conjoined twins, as I was saying, like, in the movie, it's revealed that those two have parents and their parents are also conjoined twins. And as a kid, I saw that movie and I was like, how does that work? Like, were they separate people and then they fused and then their fusion made a kid? And
wait, the mom and dad are one person?
Yes. Well, not one person, but they share one body.
Wow.
And I'm just, yeah, I was like, what the heck? How does that work? That opens so many questions. And also, like, I can't say whether this is good or bad representation because I'm not a conjoined twin, but I don't think it is. And also, I wonder if the people who were writing this even realized what conjoined twins were, or if they're just trying to create a monster. And I feel like the implications of creating a monster like that are very questionable.
Okay, so I'm reading the Wikipedia under like their name, and it says that they were stopped by their uncle, which is their aunt-uncle. So it might be a conjoined aunt and uncle twin.
Oh, okay.
And not their parents that you're remembering.
Okay, that makes more sense. I think as a kid, I might have just like not known the difference between parents, aunts, and uncles.
Yeah.
But yeah, aunt called.
They're called Belle and Murray.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And I'm now realizing, because the way conjoined twins work, that makes me wonder, is if one of them is an aunt and one of them is an uncle, is one of them trans?
Right. Yeah, because I found a photo of them. Does one wear like a sailor hat? Oh no, that was a sound of. Okay. Because if one wears a sailor hat, because if that's them that I just sent you over the Discord, yeah, that's their aunt and uncle that they call an uncle. So Murray is male and Belle is female. But considering like that they're two-headed like monster octopus creatures, this is actually a common thing in a lot of Greek mythology is they have two-headed creatures. So I feel like it's kind of common because there's been a lot of monsters in mythology that have two heads. So I'm just like, I'm used to it, and it kind of creates like a good fight dynamic, but you can't ever separate these two. Like if you ever see what's it called? Quest for Camelot, it's a film. They have the two-headed dragon in that, and they sing a song, If I Didn't Have You, about what they would do if they were just like two separate dragons.
And maybe I'm just thinking about it too hard. I don't know, but...
Right? Sometimes I feel like you might just be thinking about it too hard. Because I'm just like, conjoined twins, boy, girl.
What did we think about the episode?
I think both of them, like, they're alright. Like, this is a series, like, I know, like, I had seen something from it at least once before, especially when I saw the two principals. But it's definitely not something I personally would go and look forward to watch. So that's how I feel. Like, it's good, it's decent, it's nothing to, like, really write home about, and it's not going to be something I would, like, you know, look on the TV guide, figure out when it's airing, or pull up to, like, watch and stream.
Yeah, if I had not watched this as a kid and I just randomly saw this for whatever reason, I would not be going back to it. But I am curious to go back to it to see season 2 because it's so different.
I am curious to see season 2 because, like, you have 3 different companies producing it, and so, like, one of them is DreamWorks Studios, and the other one is Moonstop, which worked on Code Lyoko. Well, the voice actor from Code Lyoko came over to do most of the voices in season 2. So it's interesting that the whole animation company, production company worked on it as well. But also DreamWorks, and then another studio worked on it, but that studio doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
So, like, maybe season 2 is, like, a completely different show. Because I do remember thinking season 2 was, like, way better when I was a kid. So, who knows? It'll be interesting. This was better than I was expecting. I was going to say better than I remember, but, like, not really, because I remember thinking it was good. But, like, I was expecting to watch this and be like, this is terrible. It's not terrible, it's just like...
Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It is legit middle of the road. It's like a C.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like it is. If I was going to grade it, I would give it a C.
And, that reminds me. we don't need to do it now, but we didn't rate the last Sonic second episode we did.
We did not.
Uh,
Which was the last one we watched?
we watched.
It was Origins, wasn't it?
Yes.
Origins, because it was Origins Part 1. Right now, I'm just like, give it a C. That could be the cramps talking, but give it a C. Because I'm just like, there's nothing I can remember that stands out other than Manic's hair becoming birds
You know what?
in a Christmas Carol scene. So I'm just like, C.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. It gets a C. It didn't disappoint me.
We've rated the Sonic second episodes. We don't rate these episodes. We could, but I don't know, like, because the Sonic second, it was going to be like, once we finish that show, we're going to be like, which one was the best, which one was the worst. But, like, there's no finishing this show. I mean, I guess if we stop making episodes and we make a final episode, I guess that would be finishing this show. But
or, like, you can just do it as, like, a little New Year's thing. It's just, like, from the ones we've watched so far, here's where they rank up with these episodes.
Okay.
In case, like, because we were going to go back to a couple of the shows and watch a second episode.
In which case, what did you say this episode was again?
C. This one, I'm giving it a C.
Okay,
like, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. It didn't... Yeah, C for both. Like,
okay.
It's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. Also, it didn't disappoint me. If I felt like it disappointed me in any way, I would give it a D.
Yeah.
However, if I absolutely hated it, I would give it an F.
Yeah, I feel like I liked the Sonic Underground one a little more, only because it was Sonic Underground.
Right? I'm just thinking, like, objectively, I'm just like, there's a lot of good Sonic Underground things. Also, it could be because I'm cramping and I can't remember a lot of, like, the first Origins, other than, like, the two things. Like, as I'm thinking of it, like, I remember Sonic spitting a chili dog onto the Oracle, so I'm just like, give it a B. Give it a B because Sonic spits on a man. Yeah, give it a B. Only because Sonic's just like, well, tell Destiny to wait outside. I'm tired.
Okay, yeah, then I changed it to a B then. Do we want
right,
to
Sonic sass.
Do we want to rank the other Rainbow Rant ones, or would you rather do that when you're not having a cramp?
I would probably rather do it when I'm not mid-cramp, because I've only got, like, a couple minutes before I gotta go to bed, because it's almost 10 on my side.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can wrap this up soon. You know, did you already say learning from this episode? I feel like you did.
Say what for this episode?
What we learned.
No, we didn't do that yet. We did not do that yet. What I learned is don't be a spoiled little jerk like the vampire guy, 'cause he's rude. I don't like him. When you're rude, people don't like you as much. And mean-spirited. He's very mean-spirited.
Don't eat a ton of candy. I mean, you shouldn't eat... You really shouldn't eat candy anyways, but if you're gonna do it, don't eat a bunch of it.
Don't eat a bunch of anything, especially if it's new to your system.
Yeah.
Like,
anything.
I remember the first time I think I had pineapple, a teacher at the library or teaching assistant at the library had pineapple as a snack before SAT testing, but they put hot sauce on it for some weird reason, and I wound up eating it. It was the first thing on my system, and it all came up. Granted, my dad sent me to school anyway, even though I was sick in the morning vomiting, so technically my dad's fault.
And then Japanese title, I feel like it would probably be about the same, because this is a 2-episode, and I feel like when they do that in Japanese shows, they don't make it as long.
Yeah, they really don't. It is to the point.
Yeah.
I feel like Scare Scouts and Boo isn't really a good episode title. Like, Boo is, like, very generic. I feel like for the second half,
they might change it to something like...
Yeah, school assignment in the human town. Like, right? Fleshy Uprising. They did call it Fleshy Uprising, yeah.
Okay, well, you don't need to tell the guests, or you don't need to say where you found online, because I have things for that. So,
you do.
Until next time, keep on being colorful and spooky.
Yes, ooh, spooky. I'm gonna go take some pain medication. These cramps just kept getting worse.